Hello guys and welcome to today's STPL. It's Monday the 6th of January I believe, so we're getting into the new year now. Kind of crazy how quickly this year is going already. I'm on a week off, which is good, so I can't complain about that, but I've also got some other casting to do this week as well, which should be quite fun. That'll be going on for the next few weeks. I'll be casting the Cast of Muse Star League Season 2 in English, which is really cool. I'm really happy that Cast of Muse in Africa allowed me to do that. The first cast of that will be tomorrow, probably during the day Europe time, so not the best, but it works out best for me, I think, because I want to try and cast with Rapid, so we'll see what's going to happen with that. But let's introduce our games for today. Starting us off, it's going to be SouL versus NiCe. Now, realistically, this is completely the wrong screen. Realistically, this should be one of the most one-sided matchups. NiCe are actually having a lot of trouble. It looks like their clan leader has disappeared off the face of the earth, possibly has decided to get away from gaming entirely without saying anything. But that's the way it can go sometimes. And SouL, strongest team in the league. They've barely lost a game this season. They've only lost 2 of their actual games. They've won 9 of their matches overall, which is just ridiculous. Now, the reason for this is they have such an unbelievably strong roster. Not only Korean players, but as today and last week is going to prove, they also have a lot of the really top foreigners as well. Starting us off, we're going to have a PvC between Dandy and Jameser. We're going to have a PvP between Bonneth and Master, but well, no we're not, that's a walkover. Master's disappeared. We're going to have a ZVZ between Zealot and Essen, and then we're going to have a TVT between Scan and Astro. Now, this could be a little bit one-sided. There are a couple of mirror matchups though, and you never know what's going to happen in those. I've got water today rather than apple juice, and I've actually put it in a massive mug. But yeah, Dandy hasn't played for a very long time in the STPL, so I'm looking forward to seeing him play here again. He's definitely a strong contender and one of the top foreigners at the moment still. Let's have a look at the map history. Clicked on completely the wrong screens here, but we're going to be going into Multiverse. We've not had too many games here. It's been relatively even, other than TVZ, so Dandy definitely, at least statistically, gonna have a bit of an advantage here. It's the way it goes sometimes on certain maps. We've also had a few one-sided matchups as well, but such is a team league. That's how team leagues work, so not a problem there. Let's introduce our first player. Starting us off for SouL here is going to be Dandy. Stole a picture of him from the Corrupted Cup, but Dandy's got a 73% win rate overall. His last game was back in May. That was in Season 1. That last game he played, he actually won, but his last TVZ he played in the STPL wasn't this year at all. It was wasn't last year at all. It was actually the year before, all the way back in round 1 of I think that was round 2 of Season 1, where he played against Ho on Neo Electric Circuit, which he lost. So that's a long time ago. Not too much to discover from that. He's improved a lot since then, but he is 6 wins, 1 loss against Zerg, so definitely a strong TVZ player. He also streams. Check out his stream. He's always streaming at Dandy Terran. And his opponent going to be Jameser. Jameser has only played 1 game so far in the STPL. He did lose against Oya in a CVP, so nothing much we can gather from this other than the fact he went against a strong opponent and didn't win. So let's actually jump into game number 1. It's going to be Jameser versus Dandy on Multiverse. Okay, starting us off here in the bottom left-hand position, we do have the Red Terran fighting from Peru for SouL. It's Dandy. And in the top right position, fighting for the United States of America for NiCe, it's Jameser, our purple Zerg player. Now just before things get started and before things get too crazy, just want to say once again a massive shout out to our sponsors Liquipedia for donating $500 towards the initial prize pool, and also Maturino for giving out some of that some of the lovely codes they've got. There's still a lot more codes left, so if you want to donate to the prize pool and not pay a penny, go to the Maturino link, hit contribute and add the code STPL to add 50%. Wow, if it was 50%, the codes would be ridiculous. Add 50 cents to the prize pool, courtesy of Maturino. No cost involved to yourselves. Now, it's going to be interesting to see how this game actually plays out. They are close by ground, so it's going to roll out a lot of options for Jameser. He's not going to be able to play super greedy, but if he does choose to go to the other side to expand for a quick third base, that's very, very far away from Dandy, and Jameser can actually lock him away. Now, I have a feeling we're going to see Dandy go for a more tech-orientated opening here. Interestingly, he's not going for the double building wall. I'm not sure if this version of the wall is actually link tight though, so maybe that's the reason. Could also go for 2 racks, I guess, here. Would be a little bit strange for Dandy to do that, but yeah, the gas is coming in. Tech opening definitely more popular among the Peruvian Terrans at the moment. Terra especially is using a lot of mech openings, so that's why I kind of thought that Dandy would do the same thing. I don't really get too much chance to check out Dandy's stream because he's always streaming when I'm doing STPL, but I know he's pretty good with mechs, so that's all good. Also, Kenenzi, I don't know where you got that emote from, but that is an incredibly adorable emote. But is it as adorable as this emote? You can modify an emote with challenge, but I know it's Christmas for one more day, guys, so you can use you can modify an emote using the channel points, and you can add like sand hats and stuff. It's kind of cool. It's really cheap as well. It's only $3.30, so it also unlocks the emote for you to use for 24 hours. So one of the funny things I did today while watching Naoken stream was flip his face horizontally. So if you want another adorable emote set, look at this. So luckily enough, Doc gifted me a sub to Naoken's channel, so we get to do cool stuff like this. The modify an emote thing has got to be probably the coolest channel points thing. Yeah, flipping horizontal. Flipping Naoken's face horizontally and then doing little patterns is fun. I don't know why. You can make a cool pyramid with that, if you so chose to. Now, we've only got 2 hatcheries coming in here for Jameser. He is going to go for 2 hatch layer. Very standard build, especially against tech openings. But little does he know, it's going to be 2-port Wraith here by Dandy. This is why Dandy built the wall he did. He wanted to make 100% certain that nothing was going to bust him and no drone was going to be able to get in. But unfortunately for him, the Overlord is actually going to get here very, very fast. So he is going to be able to see the starports before the first couple of Wraiths come out, I believe. It should time out pretty well. The starport's still about 10 seconds away from finishing, I think it is. Maybe less. I'm really bad with timings in Brood War. One of the things I definitely need to improve on a lot. I think that's kind of cool, putting a reindeer thing on. Wait. Have I somehow spilled water over my shirt? My shirt is wet for some reason. I haven't even touched any water, what the hell? That's so weird. I'm fairly certain I wasn't wearing this shirt when I spilled the juice, and it would have dried off by now even if I was, so I guess we'll see what happens. It doesn't smell of apple juice, so we're all good. Okay, so we've got a Hydra Den coming in here for Jameser, which is a little bit weird, but he's got the 3rd hatchery coming up as well as the Spire, so not as weird as you'd maybe think. He is just going to go for a Lurker after he goes for his Muteless. I thought it was going to be a Hydra opening, but that would have been a little bit too late. The Overlord did get in, did see the 2 starports. This is another reason to get that Hydra Den. You want to make sure you can get some Hydras on the ground, as Scourge alone are not good enough to deal with Wraiths, especially if they run away from your bases. Now, 2 Overlords at least are going to be going down here before any units can come out from Jameser. The Spire is only just now finished, so this is going to be a good amount of damage. We should have another couple of Wraiths coming in fairly soon. There's going to be 3 Overlords going down, and you can already see just how supply blocked Jameser is. He's 21 over 2. Now there is 2 spores, but I think Jameser is in a lot of trouble here. I mean, this is kind of ridiculous, being 21 over 2 when you don't have any attacking units whatsoever outside of 2 Lings. I mean, James is not really going to be able to do too much. And look at this, Dandy's going to hunt down the Lings. He's going to kill them. There's going to be no vision out on the map whatsoever here for Jameser. And Dandy is going to be free to do essentially whatever he wants for the time being. Look at this, there's been 2 Overlords built and he's still supply blocked. It's so much time without any units whatsoever that Dandy can ride the coattails of this to a victory, I think, without too much trouble. AMA just means you can ask me a question and I'll answer it. As long as it's not like too unreasonable. Don't make it too ridiculous and then I'll do it. The points thing, I couldn't really think of putting anything with them, so I just went with something that seemed quite sensible. I don't think I've ever bothered looking at the Seeker Spores picture. Look how weird that looks. Yeah, in terms of what's going on, there's not really too much going on right now. The Wraith count of Dandy did stop at 4. He didn't build any more, and that's because he is going into mass barracks to follow this one up, and that isn't a bad choice. When you go from Wraiths into Medic Marine, the main choice against Wraiths is going to be Hydralisks and Mutalisks, and Bio deals with that pretty well. So the Academy is just about finished as well. Stim just starting up now. It is weird to see a player just kind of skipping out on additional Wraiths entirely. Usually you would continue building them with Cloak, but I don't think he ever actually got Cloak. Now, this could be a big moment for James, or if he gets in before the units have finished for Dandy, this could be a very, very opportune moment to get a lot of damage done. With the SCVs being pulled to repair, James pulls back and waits for some more reinforcements as he goes up for a 3rd base in the top right hand corner. Invidentia saying, would you consider this a good and appropriate use of channel points? Yeah, I guess so. I guess that's a pretty good use. Nicely done. Touche. The science facility coming in for Dandy. This is going to give him the ability to go in 2 vessels, or if he wants to be clever, go for ghosts or battle cruisers. But I think vessels is the more than likely choice here. There is going to be tanks. Now, tanks are very, very good against Hydralisks. One good thing that Dandy's doing as well is he's preparing for a drop, as he knows there was speed overlords here with this attack, so that's going to make it a little bit easier for Dandy to react to this. Now, looks like the drop is going to try and come in. The Hydra is going to move in to clear out the Wraiths, so but the important thing is Dandy should know to expect something coming from the north side of his base now, and immediately a ton of Hydras are going to be loaded up into these Overlords. And is he going to push in, or is he going to pull back? It looks like he wanted to pull back. There is Cloak in fact done on this Wraith. But where are the drops going to go? Look how many Overlords there are. That's 6 Overlords going to be dropping Hydralisks into this main. There's going to be another load of Hydralisks moving in from the front. They're not going to be able to do too much, but these Hydras in the main are actually going to do a ton of damage here. It's going to be so difficult for Dandy to make his way back into his own base. Looks like these Hydras will eventually get cleaned up though, but what about the ones in the front? Are there units in these bunkers? Yes, there are, so he should be able to hold on to this. The Hydralisks in the main are getting cleaned up, and I mean, this is a massive all-in for James. No 3rd base was ever created, and he is going for nothing but Hydras just to see if he is able to break through, but it looks like Dandy may have held on well enough, although there is going to be another lot of Hydras dropping into this main. There wasn't actually that much infrastructure done though, so Dandy should be in a good position to defend this. He's already got his bio in position. He's got tanks as well. I'm interested to know why they're not sieged, but I guess he's worried about getting dropped on. And here we go, he's going to siege at the last second. The bio is going to chase down these Overlords. The tanks should be able to clean up everything else. And looks like the bio's going to stop for some reason, so this is going to do a little bit more damage than I maybe expected it to. You can already see the medics up the front tanking a lot of the hits. The Hydra's at the back slowly getting whittled down by this bio. And there's just not really much to follow this up. James is 50 supply down. And Dandy should have game number 1. There we go, GG. I'll admit that was a little more anticlimactic of a finish than I thought it would be, but that's the way the cookie crumbles sometimes. I mean, Dandy, he attacked really well. He supply blocked James to a crazy degree, 21/2. That's pretty... I wouldn't say it's unheard of, but it's very, very rare you would get that much damage done with 2 rates early on. And from that point, James was just too far behind. Now, that is going to take us into game number 2. We did have a walkover in, well, technically it's going to be game number 3, so Dandy won that one. Bonnet got game number 2 because Master, the clan leader of NiCe, also meant to have played in this game, disappeared off the face of the earth. No one knows where he is. Well, he's around obviously, but he's just kind of given up, I think, on the team. So unfortunately, after season 2 of the STPL, I don't think NiCe will be around any longer, but oh well, there's not really too much we can do, and I really need to get a better green screen because it's not wide enough. It makes me look funny as well, because I'm always like sat hunched over. Well, at least I look hunched over. I don't think I am. I guess I kind of am, because if I sit like this, it's uncomfortable. Oh well, we'll figure it out. We'll be back in just a minute with game number 2. See you guys soon. Okay, we have a ton of Matrino codes still to use, so I'm making this quick video to show you how easy it is to actually use them. So you click the Matrino link, it brings up the Matrino page. In the top right, you hit sign in. You sign in with whatever you want to. In this case, I'm going to sign in with Twitch. That'll take you back to the page, and then if you hit contribute, you put in the coupon code LSTPL. You can put a comment if you want to, and you can hit contribute right there, and it will add it to the prize pool. Easy as pie. Okay, it's time for a quick tip. Here we have Neo Outlier. I'm going to show you how to get over these temples with a probe. I'll also do it with an SUV and a drone as well. So what you do is you essentially send the probe up to mine, you press stop, and you go to build a pylon. Now you build the pylon underneath you, so essentially it's going to push you, then you spam right click, and all of a sudden you are through. And here is the same trick with Terran. There's a couple of ways you can do this. One of them is you build a depot, and you you essentially cancel building, and you just spam yourself through. You have to be kind of stuck or either on the building in the temple or there. But you can cancel that, and just to show, you can do it both ways as well. Okay, now there's a way you can do this with just 2 workers, which is the only way Zerg are able to do this. You can also do this with Protoss and Terran as well. So essentially, you get both workers lined up here. You mine with 1 worker, you send the second worker to mine just behind it, and you hit stop. It can be a little bit finicky, so don't worry if you don't get it first try. We got it. No we didn't. Yes we did. Okay, so that didn't go perfectly. You can do it a lot better than that, but it does take a little bit of practice. So just keep trying and you will eventually get it. And you'll find it actually has quite a lot of uses in various different maps. Okay guys, welcome back. We're going to be heading into game 2 of NiCe versus SouL. Let's quickly introduce our map, then we'll introduce our players. It's going to be New Arkanoid. Strangely enough, one of the most balanced maps in STPL history in terms of win ratios, which is crazy, but we've not had too many mirrors here either. This is going to be another ZBZ. It's going to be Essen again. So Essen has been on this map 4 times now. This will be his 4th game, and every single time he's done the same strategy against various skill levels of players. So I don't know whether or not this is going to work for him against SouL, but I'm going to assume he's going to be doing the same thing. Let's quickly introduce our players. Starting for SouL here is going to be Zealot. Now, Zealot, a very strong but very aggressive Zerg player from South Korea. Apologies for his YouTube link. He doesn't have a like custom link or whatever yet, I don't think. So if you want to visit his YouTube, maybe screenshot this and then you can type it down later. And he's got a 75% win rate overall, 27th in the STPL rankings. Overall against Zerg, he's actually 1-for-1. He beat 0 but lost to Eon Zerg the last time we met on Christmas Eve, so that's kind of cool. And his opponent for NiCe is going to be Essen. It's the same name but backwards, as Rapid would say. 66% win rate for Essen. He's done pretty well for himself. Zerg versus Zerg, he's 3-4-2 at the moment. And 2 of those wins and 1 of those losses, as we've already discovered, was on Neo Arkanoid, doing the same build. So let's see if this aggressive Zerg can come across one of the strongest amateur Korean aggressive Zergs and do the same thing. And let's see if it works as we jump into game number 2. I guess it's 3, but we'll count it as 2. Okay, starting us off here in the bottom right hand corner, it is the blue Zerg fighting from South Korea for SouL. It's Zealot. And his opponent spawning down here in the bottom left hand corner in the red from the US of A, fighting for NiCe. It's Essen. Now unfortunately for both of these players, they will both be scaling each other second. Their second overlord will see each other. But this does mean that there's no inherent advantage for either player. And if Essen does the same thing he did last time, which means he'll build a pool. I think he built a pool on 12 and then a hatch on 12 as well the last time he did this build. He's not going to know exactly where his opponent is. But luckily enough, he's going to scout him second and not last. Now, it looks like Zealot is going to be the one going for a pool here. This will be on 9 supply for him. Looks like we're going to have a 9 hatch, so Essen is going to do exactly the same thing. Now, when we saw Chaylin play against this build, we saw that she actually prepared, and she knew that Essen was going to do something like this, as she did see his previous game. Now, whether or not Zealot does keep up with his opponent's previous games or not, I would kind of highly doubt it, given there's no like Korean cast or anything, but there should be soon. Now we are going to have a 9 hatch 9 pool here, I guess 9 hatch 8 pool from Essen. Now the reason for this build and what he does is he masses lings off of 2 hatcheries and he breaks his way through the middle of the map. Now you would think that that would take a ton of time, and it really doesn't. This game is likely going to be decided within the 7-minute mark, I would say. So AMA has asked me anything. I just assumed everyone knew what that meant. Sorry. I think if you click on it, it says what it is. At least I say, like, ask me a question or whatever. But Zealot gonna scout the right way with the second overlord. No second overlord just yet from Essen. He did delay that a very, very long time in order to continue to get all of his buildings up and everything like that, as he didn't necessarily need to go above that supply. But this could be a big problem, as Zealot is going for 1 hatch lair. Now, whether or not this is going to be beneficial or not is hard to discover. There's going to be no ling speed, which is going to be a massive thing. And not only that, if this goes the same way the previous games have on this map, I highly doubt we're going to see Zealot go for any huge ling numbers or anything. So this could play right into Essen's hands. Essen could actually get a win here. Now, watch how quickly this temple dies. Okay, the temple dying is a little bit slower, but when you see him get to the power generators, they die so unbelievably quickly. And the trouble is, Zealot is going to see this way too late. He's not going to have a defense ready. Chaylin kind of blind countered this when she played against him. But both of his other opponents that he's beat, it's the same situation as this. They try and tech up very quickly. They go for a later expansion. And they just do not have the units or anything to deal with what he's doing. Look at this. He's going straight through this power generator. Look how quickly it's going to die. And then there's only 2 buildings separating him from Zealot's main. And he's seen the Overlord. He should know where to go. Wait, did he know? Oh my god, he didn't see the Overlord. Oh, no way. Essen shot himself in the foot here. He wasn't paying attention to his minimap. And this may have just lost him the game. That's it. This is going to fail now. The Muteless are going to come out. He's going to have absolutely nothing to defend against the Muteless. His economy is awful. He's on 9 drones. He's going to see the Overlord coming in from here and assume... Oh no, there we go. He's just realized, but the trouble is, Zealot has just seen a load of Lings leave his base, I believe. At least he saw a couple. And I mean, the Spire's about to finish. The time is gone. There's no way he can do this, surely. There's a ton of Lings, so he could technically kill all the drones. But look at this, Zealot is taking another hatchery. And hatcheries take a very long time to kill. Now, let's see if Zealot clicks his building to have a look what's going on. It looks like he did notice. Look at that. He's gone up. He sees the Ling. Well, yeah, he sees the Lings. He is going to throw up a load of Sunkens right now, I believe. Or even just one. And use this Muteless, but look at the amount of Lings coming in here. This is going to be a race. Can Essen kill all of the buildings before Zealot can win? Before he can get more Muteless? Before he can get answers to deal with this? The Sunken doing so much damage. Essen going for the Spire right now. There is 1 additional hatchery. One of the hatcheries was cancelled. Can Essen kill all of the drones? If he can, he still has a chance. But it's a very slim one, as we already see. Zealot's Muteless shredding their way through these Lings right now. He's evened up the drone count, which is something. But is it going to be enough? There's going to be more Lings running through the map. Is there an evolution chamber? No, there is not. As soon as these Muteless head over to his base, he is going to die, but he is going to pull some of the Muteless away to this other hatchery and go back into the main. He still has a chance, as I say. He's going for an evolution chamber, going for a creep colony as well. This is a battle of time right now. Can Essen... Why is he going for the lair? He just needs to go for the drones. That's all that matters here. Link speed is almost done for Zealot. And I think that's it. I think that is the final move of this game. Essen's going to try and come back in with some more Lings. Maybe he's just trying to delay as long as possible. I mean, if he can get another couple of drones, that would be pretty good for him. But the drone drilling, the offensive power of Zealot, so strong, as well as his defense as well. Now, he may be able to get this other hatchery. That would actually be a pretty big pick-off. There is a lot more Lings heading on over. The Muteless going to be heading into the mineral line. There's not actually that much here to defend. The Muteless actually going to try and go for some of these Lings that are moving across the map. Very strong move. But I think Zealot just has all the tools he needs now. I think Essen may be breathing his last breath here in this game. And Fake Fin, I think the Korean cast is going to start with the playoffs. Just because I don't want Casimir to have to try and catch up with 10 weeks of casting. That wouldn't be very fair. Essen GG's out. That was a close one. He nearly took down Zealot with his crazy Neo Arkanoid cheese, but it didn't work. Zealot won. Honestly, there was a little bit of luck involved there. Essen, for whatever reason, did not notice the Overlord on his minimap in the bottom left. And because of that, the time ran out. The build is built to essentially hit at such a specific timing that if you do not get to your opponent's base in that time, you will lose. Now that's going to take us into game number 3. It's going to be Scan versus Astro, I believe. Wait, no, Scan versus Chef Kev. When we get back after this very short break. See you guys soon.
And people like Kix, for example, who has an encyclopedic knowledge of every map that's ever been released on StarCraft. And
he's the Batman! Skibidi-bidi-bidi-on-do-do-do. Skibidi-on-do-do-do. Skibidi-bidi-bidi-doo-doo-doo. He's the map man! Ba-da-ba-da-ba-dee-da-ba-ba-da-bo. Ba-ba-ba-da-bo. Be-da-ba-ba-da-bo. Ba-ba-ba-da-bo. Everybody plays one way or the other, so check out my message to you. As a matter of fact, I don't let nothing hold you back. If Kicks can do it, so can you. Gooba-dooba-dooba-dee-da-ba-ba-da-bo. Ba-ba-ba-da-bo.
Please don't listen to him for maps.
Yeah.
Okay, we have a ton of Matcherino codes still to use, so I'm making this quick video to show you how easy it is to actually use them. So you click the Matcherino link, it brings up the Matcherino page. In the top right, you hit sign in. You sign in with whatever you want to. In this case, I'm going to sign in with Twitch. That'll take you back to the page, and then if you hit contribute, you put in the coupon code LSTPL. You can put a comment if you want to, and you can hit contribute right there, and it'll add it to the prize pool. Easy as pie. Okay, it's time for a quick tip. Here we have Neo Outlier. I'm going to show you how to get over these temples with a probe. I'll also do it with an SUV and a drone as well. So what you do is you essentially send the probe up to mine, you press stop, and you go to build a pylon. Now you build the pylon underneath. Okay guys, welcome back. We're here for game number 4 between SouL and NiCe. This has been a pretty quick series, but honestly, I would have thought that from the start. SouL are the strongest team in the league currently. They are number 1 in the rankings. A lot of their players are in the top 10 of the STPL player rankings as well. And now we're going to be heading into game number 4. It's going to be a TBT. Let's actually introduce our map, then we'll have a look at our players. This has actually been one of my favorite maps for TBT in the entire tournament so far. If we actually have a look at the map stats, you'll see that we've had a decent number of them so far, 7 TBTs, and that may be because Terran have been performing so well against Zerg here. Against Protoss has been pretty even, but TBT, very fun matchup. We've had Scan play here before. He played a 1 against Terra. That was actually a really long and really cool TBT, so if you did miss that, go back and check the SouL versus NAS cast on the YouTube after the cast, obviously. But that was a really, really cool TBT. Let's introduce both of our players. One of them you should know by now, it's Scan. This is quite an old picture of Scan I've managed to steal from Liquipedia because unfortunately nobody sent me a new one. So enjoy one of the, I think that's actually StarCraft 2 era Scan from like 10 years ago maybe. So wait, Carmadillo, when you say are these all Terrans, what do you mean exactly? That's confusing. I don't know why I called you Carmadillo when I could have called you Jello, because that's your other name. Oh yeah, everyone had Terra next to the name, because if you look, I don't know if you've ever noticed, this is the history on the race matchup, so they're the TBT ones. Oh wait, is Scan in first now? I didn't actually notice that. Let's have a look. So Scan has moved from rank 2 to rank 1. So he is now your top STPL player in Season 1 and Season 2 overall in the STPL ecosystem. He's 10 for 11 or 10 for 1 over Terran. When you look at the last 10 games he's played against 4 incredibly strong Terrans, and he's won against all of them, beating SPX first back in October, Tengu for White back in November, and then just a couple of weeks ago in the SouL versus NAS matchup, he played against Terra twice in 2 really, really fun games and did win both of them. So that's going to put him above his teammate Noob to take the number 1 spot. And if we have a look just quickly at the player rankings, you'll see who else is in the top 10, because it's not all Koreans. We've got Scan and Noob in the top 2 spots, very close to each other. Just behind them we have DeWalt, then we've got Kogut, then we've got Eon Zerg, then we've got FamSE, Spire, Tai2, Dragon, and Yeti. Yes, there are actually more foreign players in the top 10 than there are South Koreans. Just to point that out, just because a lot of people said that wouldn't happen and the foreigners would never be able to beat the Koreans. It happens all the time, guys. but it doesn't matter. Astro, wait, why did I pick Astro? I'm fairly certain it's Chef Kev in this game. It is, so one sec, we'll go into the game and we'll fix that. That shouldn't take me 2 seconds. Right, Chef Kev, he's not played too many games, so we've not really got too much to go for. Let's go into the game. It's game number 4 between Scan and Chef Kev here on Carthage 3. As a matter of fact, let's quickly fix it before we go into the game, because I need to essentially reset it and add all the games back in. So where is it? I can't believe I picked Astro. I guess he maybe got subbed out or something. If we do generate, so Dandy won game 1, Bardeth won a walkover in game 2, Zealot won game 3, and there we go. Let's get into game number 4. That's the wrong button. Okay, starting us off here in the top left-hand position, we have the Orange Terran fighting from South Korea for SouL. It's Scan. Oh, Albert, the first 2 matchups were a TVZ, and the second game was a walkover. That would have been a PvP, and then the third game, which we just watched, was a ZVZ. So, and starting us off down here in the bottom right-hand position, and I believe this is the the olive green. Might be the, well, I guess it's not the lime green. It's Chef Kev fighting for NiCe from the US of A. Oh, players, it was Dandy versus Jameser, and it would have been Bonneth versus Master, but Master quit, so... Black Obsidian, I'm not actually sure if Scan's still in the military or if he's finished now. I know he's due to finish very soon, from what I remember from watching his stream and asking him. I did ask him today when his service was over, when he was watching Naoken stream, but he didn't actually say, so hopefully he should be out soon, then he'll be able to start participating in the big tournaments and stuff as well. Whether or not he's going to qualify is definitely a testament to his skill, of course. We've got players like Noob and Zealot qualifying. Bishop recently qualified to the ACS, along with another player I hadn't heard of, but Bishop is fighting for VT in the STPL, which is kind of cool. The trouble is, and the issue that there's always been in South Korea, when you're an amateur player, it's very, very difficult to actually get anywhere, because you're fighting not only against all the other amateurs who are all incredibly good, you're also fighting against ex-pros and people who essentially make their living from streaming the game, which is essentially all the ex-pros, because none of the amateurs can really do that. But Scan looks like he wants to go for a CC first. Chef Kev went for a barracks expand. No, this was a barracks expand for both players. Sorry, that was entirely my mistake. I even saw the barracks coming up and I'm like, yeah, CC first. That's what Scan does. Oh, Cali was the other. Cali was, but apparently he's been disqualified. Cali got disqualified because he's been banned from Afrika for having a betting website open on his browser when he showed his browser on stream. I think it's going to be a temporary ban, but he's been banned from ACS, so he lost his qualifier spot. I can't remember who the player he played against was, though. Apparently Scan might be finishing in May. That'd be kind of cool. Now, it'll be interesting to see how this game actually plays out. Neither player are looking to play super aggressive here, which, in my opinion, is the best way to play TVT. Playing super aggressive doesn't usually work out because it's so easy to defend against in most circumstances, but with both players going for a barracks expand, their factories are going to be quite late. Actually, Scan's first factory is really late here. Usually you would go for the factory, I think it's around 21 supply, maybe it is 23. That's strange. I'm kind of interested in that because I know you'd normally get a bunker, but you skip the bunker knowing his opponent was doing the same build he was. And I mean, Chef Kev, Maybe I was wrong. Maybe it is around 23 supply because they've both got their factory around the same time. And I mean, Scan is obviously playing optimally, so... Finals was against Spire, you say? That's interesting. So Spire from SouL may actually be in the ACS. And then I think the winner of the ACS goes on to the round of 24 in... Or is it the round of 16 in ASL? I think Pitbull played against... Pitbull may have played against Bishop. Although I'm not too sure. Oh, they go to the finals of a qualifier. Okay, wow. That's actually not as good as I thought it would be. Or, wait, is I can never remember, is ACS like a different tournament? Or is it just those qualifiers get you into the finals of a qualifier for ASL? Oh yeah, Bishop won over Gecko. That was it. I was speaking to someone in Oaken's chat about this earlier. I think it was Scan actually. Because I kept asking Oaken because he was there who qualified. And every time I asked I got blanked. So I was like, okay. I was like, can anyone tell me? And Scan's like, I can. Because I think even though Scan didn't participate, I think he actually went there. Oh, ACS is a different tournament. Okay. That's kind of incredible that winning the tournament doesn't get you a seed into the ASL. But I suppose the ASL is so competitive that they can't really afford to do that. But then again, it's not all over for amateur players either, because when you look at the previous ASLs, we've had Bjorn and Zealot both qualifying, which is kind of cool. We also had, what's the name of that Zerg player that's really, really good? Soma. He did really well. Was it in the KSL? So... Oh, wow. It's 4 players offline in the Afrika Studio, $5,000 prize pool. Okay, that's not that bad then. If you win, not only do you get a seed into the finals of a qualifier, you also get $5,000. So that's definitely a good thing. And it's good that the ACS exists as well, because I think, as far as I remember, the rules are you can't have been an ex-pro. If you're an ex-pro or a semi-pro from before, I don't think you can enter, but any amateurs can, which is quite nice. And I think you get blocked from entering the ACS if you either won it before or something like that. And now we've got Scan going for a good amount of scouting with his stream range. Just wants to kind of also clear mines. That's another good reason for doing this with the Marine. He eats a couple of, well, he eats one mine before it dies, but sometimes you get lucky. But luckily enough for him, Chef Kev didn't go for mines. They both have gone for pretty much the same build, although now Scan has gone for 4 factories and going into vultures, whereas his opponent is going for a starport even. Now the reason behind these vultures is Goliath would usually be better, but on this map, because you can get a relatively easy mineral only, and due to the fact all the paths are so small, it's actually very beneficial to go for vulture mines, because you can mine up a lot of the paths. We saw him do this against Terra in his previous game on this map, and it's really interesting when you see it happen, because essentially Scan had vision over his entire side of the map. Fake Finn saying it's a $5,000 total prize pool. Winner still gets 3k though. Okay, so one thing to note is Scan is going for his 3rd base, so is Chef Kev, but Chef Kev's 3rd is a lot quicker. Now this is a big difference compared to when we saw him against Terra. Now in his game against Terra, Scan got his expansion way before. And it's because it felt when I was watching it that Terra was maybe a little bit scared of Scan. Whereas Chef Kev is like, you know what, I need to somehow gain an advantage in this game, so let's just expand quickly. I know he doesn't have vultures yet, because he didn't scout any when he was moving around the map. So now he's in a pretty good spot, and you can already see Scan is starting to lay down a ton of mines, and it's going to be incredibly difficult for Chef Kev to be able to go up here. Now, the third base is finished. We can see that Scan is heading down with a few units. Will want to get on top of this ramp if he wants to hold this. Now, unfortunately, the vultures of Scan are going to get up onto the high ground, and it's going to get very difficult to be able to defend this, but there is a lot of units coming down. There is Scan available, so he does clear those up, and he's going to push forward and at least get his third gas, which is super important. And more importantly, he's going to be able to get it before Scan does. Now, another thing to note is Chef Kev is doing really well on his SCV production. He's keeping up with Scan, and that is not an easy thing to do. Scan is a macro beast. Now the sign facility is done here for Chef Kev. +2 attack though is late. You need that a lot quicker. You want to get that as soon as humanly possible in TVT. We haven't got any +1 upgrade yet for Scan. That's just about to finish. But +1 is finished, so... Cataclysmical saying that this is looking like it's going to be a 40-minute game. Very possible. I mean, if Chef Kev can take Scan in a 40-minute game, then that would be incredibly impressive. Usually Scan will win way before that if he's against a player who's below his level, but Chef Kev is doing well here. He's keeping up. His supply is a little bit lower, but that's because he's had one less factory, and Scan has been building a ton of vultures, so that means your supply is going to be a little bit lower. He's almost even on SCVs. He's got his third gas mining. That's mining before Scan's is. Now, the reason behind that is Scan was still building vultures for a little bit, so he didn't necessarily need the gas. But now he should start mining. He's going to add a ton of factories on. He's going to start pumping out a ton of tanks. Now we see +2 attackers started here for Scan. +2 attackers started for Chef Kev as well, almost exactly the same time. Now this is where it separates the boys from the men in TVT. Can Chef Kev push up on the high ground? Yes, he can. Nicely done. And even killing the rest of the mines. Really, really good job at securing that high ground. And if he can secure that, he opens up the ability to take the 9 o'clock base here. Now Scan looks like he's getting ready to take the 3 o'clock. He's got a lot of tanks down here. Now the benefit of going for this position over the position Chef Kev's in is this makes it very difficult for Chef Kev to expand down here, and that's one of the only other gas bases on this side of the map. Now interestingly, Chef Kev didn't push onto the high ground. He's gonna go now, but there is... oh, the mines! There is a lot of tanks, but if he had if he got really unlucky there, that would not be good. But you can already see Scan is getting ready to pull back a little bit. Wants to try and get a position over this high ground. Now if Scan scans here, but he doesn't need to at the moment. If Chef Kev moves too far over, he's going to get shot. So he needs to be careful. Now Chef Kev taking this position isn't really going to block too much of the map off. You can see Scan is taking his 4th gas incredibly quickly, as in TBT. That is a very important thing to do. He's getting up his mineral only as well. Now the interesting thing for me is Chef Kev is going for vultures now, when realistically you don't want to be switching into vultures at this point, but he must have his reasoning. There is mines going to scout these coming in, but his Chef Kev is going to move up onto the high ground, lay some mines on these tanks. Now he should realistically not stay around here to lose any. Oh, the mine drag, not too good for him. You don't necessarily want to be losing vultures at this point, even though the mines are good. Mines are not going to get you the kills. What you need the vultures for is pushing through these siege lines, and you need to do it by pushing up with tanks at the same time. Now, Chef Kev does have the option of going through to the other map, but Scan is scouting for this already. He's got a lot of units moving back and forth, just trying to keep an eye on his opponent's position. Now there is a vulture drop in the main. It looks like it's killed 16 units. I imagine that's going to be SCVs, but that's definitely important. Sorry for missing that drop coming in. I don't know why, I just thought it was someone else, but looks like he is going to be able to clean this up. But the trouble is, Scan is slowly starting to pull ahead. And this is really where you see how strong Scan is. He's gone for his expansions at the right time. He went for his upgrades at the right time. and he's not been throwing away units willy-nilly, and he is getting into a very, very strong position. If he holds this high ground, it's pretty much checkmate for our Terran player from the US of A, as Chef Kev will find it very difficult to actually move anywhere. Now look at this, Chef Kev, he's sending vultures up, but what are they going to do for you? He's going to find this tanks over on the right hand side as well. And this is where in a TVT you start to feel trapped, and that is when the despair starts kicking in, because getting hard contained in TVT is quite possibly one of the worst feelings in this game as a Terran player, because essentially you either have to switch into mass dropships, which against a really good player is likely not going to work because they'll go for anti-air, they'll build a ton of turrets with their extra minerals. You also kind of think, where do I go from here? Like, there's not really too many places you can go to. And Vincent Rose, unfortunately, Bonnet didn't play his game because Master disappeared, so we didn't get to see Bonnet play a PvP, but we'll probably get to see more PvP later anyway. That is the way. Now it looks like Chef Kev gonna bring pretty much all he has up to this middle bit. See if he can push through, but you can already see the tanks going into a stranglehold here. Might even helping out. It looks like he is going to be able to clear out the middle tanks, which is something. But this is just line one of the defense. He's going to have to face these tanks over on the right hand side eventually. And look at this, Scan is ready with a big drop. This looks like this could be the drop that ends the game. I mean, Chef Kev has done a really good job so far, but where are the units back at home? He's got vultures and a few tanks. Is that going to be enough to deal with this dropship? I highly doubt it. Now, the engineering base should scout this, which is good placement. And let's see the reactions. Looks like Chef Kev moving out of his base rather than to the back of it. Scan dropping out his units in perfect formation. And while there is a single siege tank here, it's likely not going to be enough. There's two raids coming in a little bit too little, too late. Looks like the fourth base of Scan has been blocked essentially for the moment. He's going to be able to get into the fifth base as well. So we're going to have a little bit of a base trade here. Looks like both players should trade at least their workers pretty effectively here. But the trouble is the armory is going to go down. There's going to be no +3 attack. +3 attack from Scan is almost done. And this is just one of many bases that Scan has. He's taken the third. He's got the 9 o'clock base as well. And I mean, this position over in the main is almost impossible to come back from without vision, without units. That's something that Chef Kev just doesn't have. Look at this. Scan is going to come in with another massive drop. He's going to secure the third base as well by secure the 3 o'clock base as well by doing this. And this is definitely the killing blow here, I think, for Scan. I mean, Chef Kev has done an amazing job to last this well against Scan. He's killed enough SCVs. He's actually ahead in workers now, but he just doesn't have a way to expand. He's got no map positioning, and the longer he spends out in the middle of the map, the more and more units are going to ferry into his main, going to block his building from his factories, and when that happens, when you lose your depots, it's pretty much game over in a TVT. There's not really too much you can do to come back from that. And I'd just like to point out how good this turret positioning is from Scan. It sees this area here, which if Chef Kev was to suddenly have a load of dropships, he would probably go for. And he's even got, he has a single turret back up here. There's no turret, there's a couple of turrets over here on the left hand base, but not that many. The command center is going to scout out this base. And you can see Chef Kev is starting to move out on the map. Scan is getting ready to take this base as well. And I mean, unfortunately, this is just a little bit too late. Scan, despite going down to 47 workers, is now back up to 74 in the space of about 2 minutes, which is ridiculous. And the dropships still haven't come back in with units. Oh, it's because they're empty. Okay. But you can already see that Scan is getting ready to defend this push. He knows what's coming. He has foreseen it with his scans, as per his namesake. And this is just too much on this map here for Scan. There's nothing Chef Kev can do other than GG. There we go. GG. Chef Kev taps out. And Scan takes game number 4. And the series for SouL 4-0. So that was pretty impressive for Chef Kev to go into a macro game against Scan. To not lose early on is incredibly impressive when you're against such a strong opponent. It is, of course, going to be a 4-0 victory for SouL. I think everyone who kind of knew both teams would kind of expect that, especially because NiCe are having so many problems. But it was a fun series, and nevertheless, let's have a look at the results. We'll go for a quick break, and when we get back, we'll head into our next series. So, Dandy winning over Jameser, Bodith winning a walkover win over Master, Zealot winning over Essen, Scan winning over Chef Kev to round out the series. And that is going to make... That's going to take us to our second series. It's going to be Sai versus Rev. Hopefully Avalov is here, given you wanted to see a Rev cast, and he's going to be playing in this one. So see you guys when we get back in a few minutes.